Welcome back to Mordor, the episode of Dejenol, Holy Crusade. I'm Mithril Zenith, you know the drill. It works this time. I just tried to record just a little bit ago and it was not working. DOSBox was crashing. Oh, move my jacket a bit so I can reach the keyboard properly. There we go. Yeah, it's been a little while. Not quite as long as the break between last video and the one before it, but a little while. You might notice I've been leveling up my paladin a bit. I have the crest of the paladin now. Definitely one of the less impressive crests in the game. 612 isn't too bad. 2 strength, 1 con, 2 charisma, 1 dex. No resistances. Only gives protection and 12 charges of minor heal. Which, I mean, honestly, while the minor heal charges aren't bad, I feel like there could definitely be better things to put on a crest. Especially for a class with, well, with these required base stats. Physically impossible to join at base stats, base level, with any race combination. You can't get this much charisma and 14 strength, 15 dex, 10 con, 9 int, 9 whiz with the starting character. Physically impossible. In this game, at least. But yeah, so I've been doing a little grinding. I think I know what I want to do. Later on, I'll probably come back to Paladin for more leveling, but right now I want to level to, I think it's 105. It's either 105 or 111, where Paladin gets the extra swing. Because once I get that extra swing, that will help me a lot. Oh wait, I need to make sure I don't have any quests right now. The usual. Oh, I need to kill a Firegon. Good thing I checked. I wouldn't have gone out otherwise to look for one. What are the spells I need to cast? This is paralysis, draining, acidity, electrical. Do I need to see in sight? Oh, I'm invisible and I see invisible already. So I just need feather essence. Yeah, I spent a little bit upgrading my gear too. I should probably look at that. Mithril dagger, boots of evading. Oh, whoops! I'm pressing down, so that turns it instead. Adamant helmet gives me see invisible and point of intelligence, which is nice. Amulet of flames, just the fire res and +1 charisma. Girdle of strength gives 1 strength. Cloak of invisibility, traded that for the robe of insight. Has decent stats, gives me invisibility so I don't have to cast it. Studded leather is still decent armor. Steel gauntlets for more strength. Bracers of strength for, you guessed it, more strength. Upgraded to a steel shield because I could. I have a flame stone, I think was what I grabbed. Yeah, because it's 3/6, so it's better than a scarab since I already get protection from other things. Ring of Frost gives me protection, gives me 3 defense, gives me a panic button spell. Disease and poison res, I haven't really found too useful. Of course, it helps against like Dimians and whatnot. And then the usual white sash, and I've already shown off the crest of the paladin. Sweet, let's get this on. Oh, this is being very slow. Ooh, slaves. Yeah, 1 second. I'm gonna stop my download in the background. I thought my computer would be able to survive. 1 sec. I thought my computer would be able to survive downloading Neo in the background. Turns out that's not quite the case. I'm still recording. Good. I should have realized that this level of emulation that I'm doing for Mordor is a bit unstable, to say the least. As a reminder for people who haven't seen, my episode 1, this is Windows 3.1 inside DOSBox, inside Windows 10. It's not exactly the intended method of playing this game back when it came out in 1995. But it's what I have access to, and that's what I'm doing. What is it about this game that's so relaxing that I can just sit down and play for hours sometimes? I mean, I also get bored of it sometimes, but that's why it's like, it's a perfect podcast game. Some people play Minecraft, I play this, and I used to play a lot of RuneScape, actually, for similar reasons. Just a chill game to play while listening to a podcast or watching a Let's Play or something. And I'm assuming that's why anyone who tunes into this game listens, is because it's relaxing, it's like a podcast, and they just like the classic sounds or something of the game. I don't know. I also hope that my audio balance is alright. I've adjusted some numbers based on feedback from some other people saying that they'd rather have actually audible audio and risk having, like, hearing some clicks and occasional, like, lip smacks, which I can't necessarily help, compared to having it so quiet that you can barely hear it without jacking up your audio to the max. No fire guns yet. So, when did I make the last video? Was I still working when I made the last video? No, I couldn't have been. I had to have been here. Yeah. Yeah, I had to have been here, at college when I made the last one. It was probably like a month or two ago, though. Still, so I would have just moved in here. Yeah, things are going mediocrely, I guess you could say. Life's been interestingly questionable. Oh, he has Pelagons, not Firagons. Okay. That's a problem. Got an Aard, though. That's some good gold, if nothing else. Well, 4-3 is supposed to be full of Firagons. Where are they? Swashbuckler? Interesting. I wonder if that's like a rare encounter that I should have charmed. Oh well, too late now. Yeah, things have been questionably... Things have been going rather... Oh, wants to join. I'll take it. Oh, there's one. Now I can move on to the depths of the deeper zones. Or to circle back and kill more slaves, I don't know. I am now carrying Companion 2. I don't care. Sorry, Scavenger, but you don't really mean much to me. I should really just be spamming my sashes more. Not because they're not useful. But I'm hitting the point where after I start hitting like floor 4 and below, they're really not going to be too helpful to me. I'm going to hopefully be upgrading to higher level sashes, if I can ever find any. I don't think I've ever found a sash that wasn't a white sash or Dorland sash ever in my history of playing Mordor. It doesn't necessarily mean they're rare, it just means that I haven't found one. Like, apparently I haven't found Dust of Locating on this character, but I would never have known that until I was quested for it. Yeah, 250 million gold is probably a decent amount. Just looking around my character, trying to remember what's happening. Ooh, more slaves. Nice. Let's kill them all. And I have an experience level. So I can go back and do that whenever I want. Since I'm down here and I've already cast everything, and I'm not really hurt, might as well keep going. Just take this path down to 3 so I can just hit up the Dwarven Lords or something. That's probably one reason why I'm getting so much money, is because I keep leveling in floors 3 and 4, which are just hitting up the... Yeah, leveling in floors 3 and 4, hitting up the boss rooms, or whatever you'd call them, the monster layers. Oh, more fire guns. Okay, sure. Oh, whoops. Should have cast Leprosy, not Dazzle. Gauntlets of Fumbling. That's another issue that I've been thinking of with running a solo character. Like, half my inventory is being filled up by items my character uses or might want to use. Which means, of course, that I only have around 20 slots for items that I actually pick up in the dungeon. And if you don't think that's an issue, well, you haven't gotten very far in Mordor. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. I just might need to... You're trying to dazzle me? No thanks. I might just need to start dropping items and keeping a close eye on my item inventory if I start getting deeper. Just drop items for level 1 and 2, make sure I'm picking up important ones. Because there are some runs where you just get flooded with items, and it's just not... Summon Shade to deal with the wraiths. Sure. Now that my paladin level is actually increasing, I'm actually noticing myself being able to, you know, one-shot a lot of these things like walking corpses with melee attacks. Which is not something I could have said earlier. Floor 4 is suddenly becoming much more manageable because I don't have to cast spells. Of course I can if I want to. You're not the Dwarven Lord. Jeez, I was planning on using him for experience, if nothing else. And now that I'm able to actually kill things with melee, this is gonna be fun. Let's get rolling. Let's get to it. I guess... Oh, Falcon Wolf wants to join. Okay, sure. You've seen my incredible ability to murder all your friends, and you're like, nope, I'm switching teams. Goodbye, giant ants, and hello, back to the stairs we go. What is it with these simple songs that the more you listen to them, like, the more charming they get? They're just like little, like, 1 minute long earworms, if they're even a minute long. Some of them I think are less. And the fact that there are like 6 or 7 of them definitely helps, because it means that you're not getting constantly annoyed by listening to the same songs over and over again. Let's make a level. No quest. That's good news for me. Toggle numlock. Anticipation. Hopefully the cell key works. Yes, it does. That's 17, not 27. I should probably be keeping these scrolls of spells, because this seems like... No, realign. I mean, it seems like a decent use of my money, plus it's something that I will probably use sooner or later. And since the store can only hold so many, as I said, I might as well just use the ones I have. Combine them up, stash them, store them, plot for when I'm getting lower in the dungeon and need extra spell points, because from what I've been told, this game is perfectly beatable with a solo character, although it just means that you have to take advantage, well, two things. First of all, you have to take advantage of the items you can get. Oh, come on. Sometimes my fast typing backfires on me. Yeah, you just have to take advantage of all the items you can get, because there are items in this game that can cast pretty much all the spells you would ever need. Granted, not as high of a theoretical spell level as you could get if you were a high-level spellcaster, but they can still cast at pretty high levels. And sometimes that's all you really need. Ooh, dwarves. Let's kill them. Yeah, and then second of all, it just means that you're grinding one character in multiple classes instead of a whole party of characters in 1 or 2 classes. Which is fine, it just takes longer. Your individual character will tend to level up faster, however, you also can't explore as deeply with the solo character of a certain level as you can with a party of 3 or 4. Or even 2, really. So, you know, trade-offs. You'll be in the lower, you'll be in the earlier parts of the dungeon. Saying lower and higher is confusing sometimes. With, like, lower is deeper or lower is weaker. I don't know. Yeah, you'll be in the weaker floors of the dungeon for longer. 66? That's a basic attack. Cure P is cure poison or cure paralysis, so I should probably do cure poison. Yeah, it's a trade-off. Solo characters are in the lower level dungeons for longer, but they get more out of them. Whereas parties can venture deeper earlier, but they also have to venture deeper earlier in order to keep leveling up at a decent clip. So while there's safety in numbers and you can kill more stuff faster, it also means you're getting further into danger when your individual party members might not be able to handle it. And then, if you hit like a teleporter trap or something and get split up, that can be extremely dangerous for a party of relatively lower level characters compared to a single character, which sometimes teleporters are just fun adventures. Oh yeah, let's just try this. Trying to learn all the different resistances of all the different monsters is kind of a pain sometimes. But it works out, especially now that I have high enough damage to actually one-shot the things that are on level 4. Man, doing this paladin leveling has been a really good idea, I think. Why are gnolls always traveling with elves? Question of the day, why do gnolls and elves travel together? I get that this is based on like OD&D, but I'm still not fully convinced on the lore. Was it they were like mortal enemies? Are the elves like slaves of the gnolls? Or is it something weird that I just don't know? Like, are elves and gnolls secretly friends in this weird twisted dimension? I don't know. All I do know is that I'm only 9k away from pinning. I was gonna say leveling up, but that's not strictly true. Ethereal portals, ethereal portals. Oh, whoops. Thought I was done fighting the other group. Guess I wasn't. I think it's fun how there's one room on floor like 3 or 4. I think maybe it was like the chute in 3 that takes you down specifically to the poltergeist room, specifically onto the pit. No, it's not a chute then, because the chute, you'd take damage from the chute. I think it's a teleporter that teleports you onto the pit in the poltergeist room, which is a cool thematic thing that they've put into the game, because the idea is, oh, you hit a teleporter, and then you fall down a pit. So you just teleport, you take damage, and then you just get mobbed by a bunch of, by poltergeists and everything. Yeah, I think I need to portal again through there. Spooks. If you really look closely at some of these sprites, they're kind of creepy, but they're also kind of like almost cheesy looking a little bit. I've used some of these Mordor sprites and like, I'm now pinned, but that was not a winged demon. It didn't have any wings. Nope, no such luck. No rings for me. 5 should be enough. If I actually turn the proper way, which I wasn't. Let's see which one's up. This one's up. Dungeon weed. Mordor has definitely inspired certain elements of my world setting for D&D, and I am perfectly okay with that. Because, well, first of all, this game's amazing. Second of all, being able to take inspiration from some pretty simple things, like, all you have from this game, really, is like, okay, monsters, some weird pictures, some different types of items. Okay, sure. But I made, like, certain cursed items based on... Ooh, another Potion of Youth. Nice. Those are fairly rare. Made, like, some cursed items based upon... Or at least inspired by the names, if nothing else, of some of these... the cursed items in Mordor. Made some... I've tried to design an actual, like, Arid of Being potion in D&D that isn't, like, completely busted. Because boosting all of your stats, especially in newer editions of D&D where stats matter so much, is pretty insane. So I'm like, how can I put this potion in here, give them some possibility of insane benefit, but also have it come as some sort of drawback, but also make them do it. And I think I have the weirdest players ever, because they never just do what I want them to do. Or what I not even want them to do. They never do what I think they might do. Let's do 28. ID it so I can combine it with 16. Oh, 22 as well. ID it. 28 and 22. There we go, building up that Dust of Healing stash. Just in time for it to get stolen away or destroyed by a slime trap. Right? Potion of Youth go. Here it is. Unfortunately, I do need to identify the Potion of Youth before I can combine it. But that doesn't even necessarily matter, because it costs so little, relatively speaking. And compared to the amount of stuff I have, I should not sell all these items. What if I need to defeat a kill art? One kill art. I should charm some kill arts. What are my buffers? I hopefully have Soul Entrapment on 7, okay. It's against your ways to attack a good companion. No joke. No joke. What if we realign this companion? Can I attack it then? I can. That's weird. Basically just paying extra money to be able to complete my quest. But it works. Oh, that was confinement again. I didn't know that the game did that. The game prevented you from attacking a good companion if you're good alignment. That is so interesting. Oh well, still net profit from that run. We're approaching 70. And we're approaching half an hour and I haven't even really talked about anything. There we go. There's all my resistances. Here's the monsters of level 2. Pop them back up again. Back in my face. Oh, Dungeon Bear didn't die. Definitely am enjoying getting back in this game. Just at the very least, while recording it, is nice and relaxing because it gives me something. It gives me a way to actually talk about things that are happening in my life without me sounding crazy. Because I guess the way I'd put it is that there's a lot of things that you think, that a person thinks, rather, not you specifically, but if you want to take this advice to heart, then go for it. There's a lot of things that people tend to think to themselves that aren't necessarily true, aren't necessarily false either, but just aren't well thought through, I guess I'd say. There's a lot of things like that that you just need to kind of talk through to someone else, or sometimes just to yourself, in order to really make sense of them, because there's a lot of preconceived notions we have about the world that, when said out loud, kind of seem ridiculous. I think that this... Well, that was a bad idea. I just tried to cast a disease spell on slimes. That's why leprosy isn't always the best. That's why it's not always the best. Scare, scare, scare. Rod, rod, rod. Oh, come on. Sure, I'll... the double-aired chest. And the music went silent, in reverence to what just occurred. Did you see what just happened? The double-aired chest. This is like, okay, my first run, I got an aired. My second run, I got 2. Do you know how long it took me to build up the stockpile of Aards that I used, I think, on this character itself? Probably the character before this one. Far too long. Far too many runs with nothing. And then to suddenly have this game say, oh, here's 3 Aards. What? What? 3 Aards in less than 30 minutes. Oops, I'm casting Rot on Devils. I guess Devils is fine, Demons is not. So I'm kind of blown away by that. But yeah, it's nice to have... Anyway, back to what I was saying. It's nice to have an opportunity to just kind of talk my mind about things. Even if it's not even to anyone specifically. Even if I don't get any feedback. Even if no one says anything. Because, I mean, let's be honest. The majority of the time when you're talking your mind to someone, the person you're talking to, you don't really care what they have to say. And that's not to be rude or anything. Oh, I missed. Was not fast enough on the soul entrapment. Casting blue flame on me. You think that'll work? I find for the most part that when we need to talk to someone about something, it's less that we need to hear their advice and their feedback about it, and much more the case that we need to hear ourselves say something so we can make sure we're not crazy. Does that make sense to anyone else? Does anyone else experience that sort of phenomenon? Maybe I'm the crazy one. But I mean, when learning about things like active listening and all that sort of thing, it's, you know, it's never really about telling someone information. It's never really about giving answers. But a lot more is just helping them to say what they need to say and being able to help them process through the things that are going on in their life, you know? Yeah, just something interesting that I think. Okay, then. This is a triple aired run. I haven't even gotten to level up level yet. And I've found 3 Aards. What? And the pit only hit me for 1. What is up with the luck in this game? Did it detect that I hadn't played in a couple months and just decide, hey, let's be nice to him? You know what? I'm hitting up the Twisted Elf because if I'm getting 3 Aards, who knows what the elf is going to give me. But I certainly can't wait to see. Double backstab. This character's getting so freaking good. When did this happen? Apparently I hit some sort of magic level in Paladin that just made me start killing everything really quick. Maybe it was the equipment upgrade I got. I don't know. Maybe it was the couple million that I, like... I don't even know how much I dropped. It was definitely several tens of millions, I think, that I spent on equipment. Actually, now that I think of it, probably not even that much, because I don't even have, like, high-level equipment. I have, like, mid-grade equipment, but it's just high for my level. Or it's usable at my level, rather. Come on, elf! So I get 3 Aards in a run, but the Twisted Elf doesn't spawn in 2 runs in a row. That's just the type of day we're dealing with here, I guess. Didn't kill the serpents. And was that a chest that I didn't even open? It's not even trapped. Interesting. hydras. That's dangerous. That's quite dangerous. Sorcerers, those are very good companions, but they're also quite dangerous. Yeah. But yeah, active... I don't even know if it's like active listening per se, but just like... the tendency that I've found, both within myself and within other people. And here's the thing, like, people like to say that, you know, it's, as guys, guys tend to, you know, try to fix problems while girls listen to them. It's less a girl or guy thing and more just a human being thing, I think. It's just that we're really bad at understanding the needs of other people as human beings, because we're naturally inclined to see things as problems that need to be fixed, rather than just facts of life that we need to, you know, work through. By the same sort of reasoning, a person who's, like, the whole idea of grief measuring, or just life measuring, is so stupid to me. Because it's like, oh, you're having a bad day? Well, this random person across the world is probably having a worse day than you are. Thanks, that doesn't really solve my issue. That doesn't help in any way. Why are you bringing it up in the first place? It shouldn't, you know, even be a thing that we consider, yet you hear it all the time. Like, oh, you're feeling down? Well, there's someone who, like, lost their parents, you know? How do you think they feel? You're not in... Like, I'm not entitled to feel down just because someone feels more down than I am, you know? Just one of those weird things of life that don't make any sense, but that people do all the freaking time. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just the weird one out, but I've been noticing these oddities a lot lately, and I just have been, you know, feeling like talking about it, I guess. Because, I mean, what else am I going to talk about here? Playing Mordor? How many kill arts I'm killing? The fact that, oh, you can't murder a good companion if you're good? I mean, that's interesting things about the game, but there are also just interesting things about life in general. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, sure. It's so weird, though, because, like, when you see people all the time, like, no one is internally consistent. It feels like everyone... do as I do, not as I say. Rather, do as I say, not as I do, I think is the proper term. Is so prevalent among, like, every sort of person ever. And it's not even because they intend it to be. It's not even because people are hypocrites. It's just because people are complex individuals with entirely unique perspectives. And no one fits into a box, no matter how much work you put in the box. You know, no one's gonna, you know, a box that fits one person cannot possibly fit another person as well as it does that one. And so trying to put multiple people into the same boxes just doesn't work. Which is why you can say general things about humanity, but you can never really pinpoint a single thing. And that's 12 casts. You see how much that healed? Not a whole lot. Come on, mouse. Come on. And no quest, please. Ooh, no quest. Punch, punch. To needing basically 35,000 for paladin level, which is not bad considering I think my sorcerer level ups take like 50 or 60,000 or something. Not many items, but the quality of items is, well, very impressive, shall we say. Even a good sash. I need to organize my bank a little better. A Tome of Endurance, those are pretty rare. Unicorn Horn. Aird number 1. A Steel Shield that I probably should have kept on so I could level up. Level up with it. Padded leather armor, doesn't matter. Aird 2. And Aird 3. I think all of them were the same alignment, too. Probably the same alignment that I already had, like, maxed out in the shop. Oh. Let's keep rolling. Because I'm still enjoying this. Resist draw. Resist par. Resist a C. Resist co. Electrical res. Yeah. As I've been saying, these random little things of life are just things I think about all the time. Not all the time, but when I start thinking about them, it's a lot easier for me to... What was that group? And why did I take the stairs like 3 times? That is so weird. A world of oddities today. Not all of them bad, definitely. Just interesting, different, somewhat confusing a little bit. Just unique, I suppose. Yeah, life has been interesting. Life is definitely an interesting experience for us all. I've been appreciating some of the smaller good things in life, but I've also been, like, confused a lot. And there's been a lot of kind of negative things happening in my life, like my car decided to, well, let's just say that the check engine light came on, and the very next day the entire engine seized up. Before I even had a chance to do anything about it. Yeah, just little crap like that happening, just being a bother, shall we say. It's definitely something that I was much more upset over when it happened than I am now. Now I look back and... not necessarily laughing because it's funny, but I'm just shaking my head being like, you know what? What else is new and what's gonna happen to me next? You know, it's the type of thing that, you know, you're never really over. It's not something that, you know, happens once and it's like, oh, I've paid my dues, nothing else is gonna happen. It's just one of those things that it happens and you're like, I'm not gonna say anything because I know that as soon as I say something, something else is gonna break. And I'd rather not have more broken things. I probably should have charmed those wereboars because they're pretty rare. And I know that they are quest monsters possibilities. Oh wow, didn't die to leprosy. Died to a dagger through his face, though. Yeah, so I've just been nursing wounds, I guess you'd say. I don't even know if that's the right term. Wounds of the soul, I guess you'd say. Just being like, yeah, sucky stuff happens. You know, you get used to it. Oh, Goblin Slayer. You get used to it. That is, like, so true, though, for a lot of things. You just get used to it. You don't overcome it. You don't really... Does the Twisted Elf not exist anymore or something? Because seriously, 3 trips in a row. take the steel plate mail, but still, this makes me upset. Now, Van and Lions. They have a lot of hit points. If nothing else. Life is such a weird thing that we all kind of experience as a collective group together, but we also kind of don't. I shouldn't be on level 6 right now, should I? Yeah, level 6 seems like it might still be a bit above my regular pay grade in case I want to. I successfully scared an entire pack of dwarves with one cast. And I didn't even level up my wizards or mage or whatever classes get summon shade. I've just been rolling with it. Like, I've just been rolling paladin. But I've just been getting stronger all around, which is so weird to me. Mages are not that much of a problem when I have resistances of all kinds, because magic is fully resisted, natural attacks are only half resisted. Yeah. Rotted 4. You can tell when my brain goes blank because I just gotta stop talking and I start staring at the screen hoping it'll give me something interesting to talk about. This will probably be the last run. But yeah, I've been enjoying life, shall we say. Fear. Not necessarily enjoying it in the way I want to be enjoying it, but I've been living with it, surviving with it, and just kind of accepting what it is. What are troll demons? Is that a real thing? Because it has to be a real thing in the game, but I just don't remember ever seeing troll demons before. I'm certain I have, I just probably never paid attention. Yeah. Yeah. As far as YouTube goes, I've definitely been exploring other things I can do with YouTube. So I finished FE3. That was fun. I did a death montage of my Iron Man of FE3, and that was fun to relive all the memories of times the game totally screwed me over. That was enjoyable. I've been coming up with ideas for what else I want to do, really. Because the issue I've been running into is I have so many different ideas of things I could do, but not enough time or motivation to really do any of them. So I'm left with, like, you know, a script half written for this one, some random voice stuff recorded for that one, and, you know, here, there, and everywhere, bits and pieces of stuff, but nothing really solid, nothing really cementing in to the point of, like, only editing is needed, you know? Things that I need so much more effort into that just kind of, they loom over me and I get really overwhelmed just thinking about them. Especially considering, well, I have a lot of other stuff for my classes that I need to do. And said classes actually impact my life in a meaningful way through grades and that sort of thing. Whereas these videos may or may not, you know. If YouTube somehow took off in my life, which I never expect it to, honestly. Prove me wrong, YouTube, I dare you. But if it did, then I definitely would be putting a lot more effort and attention into these little video ideas that I have, because they'd be things that would actually make possibly a notable difference in my life when I put them out compared to when I don't. Versus now, it's like, oh, you know, maybe like 10 people will watch something that you put out, and it doesn't necessarily matter to them if you put in like, you know, hours and hours of effort, or if you just turn on the camera and start filming. Like, I have to, like, spread videos around, tell all my friends, post them on all the different subreddits and whatnot that let me, that apply to the different audience I'm trying to reach, just to get, like, a somewhat reasonable number of views on a lot of these videos. And then, yeah, I just pop out a Mordor video, and it takes a little bit sometimes, but the last Mordor video I put out, I don't think I put any advertising at all into it. I might have posted it on Dejenol.com or something, and it's already up at like almost like 50 views or something, which, I mean, for YouTube, for any sort of to any sort of degree, that's like pretty much nothing. But at the same time, for a channel like mine, which barely has like 85 subs, it's like, oh, you get a video that actually has like 50 views. That's actually kind of impressive, actually, when like the highest viewed video that I have ever made is that stupid little intro to this game video with audio that drifts until it's like the last 2 minutes, I think, are lost. I made it when I was 18, my voice has changed a fair bit since then, and all this different stuff. Yet somehow it's over 2K views and rising, and it just kind of blows my mind that people still today are commenting on it, on something that I just made because I felt like it, you know? I don't really know what to think about that. Well, I need to double check. Yep, I need to get another steel shield, because that was my last one. Well, that was the one I was equipped, rather. I could get a bladed shield. What's the difference here? Bladed shield is 9 and 6, and I can barely use it. Steel shield is 0 and 12. 0 and 12 is better because defense actually matters in this game. Attack doesn't really matter because apparently monster defense is counted as 0 for most intents and purposes. Let's pop up another level. That'll put me to 72, I think? 73. 36k to the next one. Yeah. Anyway, I have a couple more video ideas. No real Let's Plays coming out in the future. Outside of right now, I'm just recording a no-grind run of Super Spy mode of Cosmic Star Heroine, because this is another one of the dozen projects that I'm thinking of. But part of me really wants to just try to put together a speedrun for that game. One, because I really love the game, and two, because there are no Super Spy mode speedruns on speedrun.com. Yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. This is Mithril Zenith signing out. Have a wonderful day. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving if you live in the States. If not, apparently I get some viewers from Europe or whatever. Have a happy whatever day it was for you. And until then, till next time, see you later. It's Mithril Zenith signing out.